So hi there again everyone, this is again Allan and welcome back to my channel. Today we are gonna be reviewing again another watercolor brand and it's from Royal Talens. This is one of my most recommended sets and it's no other than the Van Gogh 12+3 half pan set. I have a collection of Royal Talens watercolor paints, but for today I have chosen to review the Van Gogh Pocket Box, which has 12+3 half pans of watercolors. Even though Royal Talens claim that their Van Gogh line is not inferior to their Rembrandt line and that Van Gogh is artist grade, I believe their website gives us a hint that their Van Gogh line is more of a student grade line. So let me read this to you. Quality, that's what you choose. A new idea, a new discovery, that is what every artist is constantly looking for. Van Gogh is the brand for the adventurous, studying artist that is always on the lookout for the best way to tell his or her story. The artist's paint Van Gogh remains as innovative and modern as Vincent van Gogh was in his time. Every day, we are trying to provide you our source of inspiration with a complete line of artists' materials, from acrylic colors to oil colors and from watercolors to oil pastels. So I believe the line here, studying artist, is the biggest clue that their line or the Van Gogh line is more of a student grade. And also, if you're gonna compare the charts of Rembrandt versus the Van Gogh, you'll see that some colors in the Van Gogh are different in Rembrandt as when you compare their pigment information. For example, the Rembrandt used PB35 in their cerulean blue, and that is the real pigment for cerulean blue. And in Van Gogh, for the cerulean blue, they used a mixture of phthalo blue and white, so that is a hue and not a real cerulean blue. Paint manufacturers do that to make their paint less expensive. So I believe that is one clue, because student grade are intended to be less expensive than the artist grade paints. But of course, I will not be recommending this set to you if they're not truly great. And as a proof of my satisfaction, in addition to the 15 colors, I added a few more pans to achieve this range of colors. And when they released 20 new colors, I bought 17 of them in tubes. And I'm gonna be reviewing them in a separate video. So back to our set. The price actually varies, of course, depending on where you're coming from and where you're getting it from. But this set of mine, I actually got it in Sekaido store in Tokyo, Japan for 1,280 Philippine pesos or 2,700 yen, and that's around 25 US dollars. Nowadays, I still see it in Jovir here in the Philippines or in some fully booked branches for 1,499 Philippine pesos or roughly 30 US dollars. When you are looking for this specific set, please make sure that you choose the 12+3 pans for free, because the original set only has 12 colors and they sort of revamped this and added 3 more slots for 3 free pans. So that's gonna be a steal, so please be careful in choosing. If you are planning to get 15 colors of individual pans and if you're not choosing this set, you better think twice, because each half pan costs 125 Philippine pesos or 2.4 US dollars, and that would cost you bigger if you get it individually rather than getting this set. So you better, inspect the colors. If you sort of like the color selection here, I believe you should just get this set, because this set comes in this very useful palette and travel brush. So this is not a bad choice at all. Okay, so let's go to the box itself. So the box is covered with this information, sort of a wrapper, which tells here 12+3 pans for free, brush number 6, much space for mixing, easy to clean, pans can be popped out. Here's the preview of the palette, and behind are some information in different languages. Also the Royal Talens address, Facebook and website. So it says here made in Netherlands, and here's the portable brush or the travel brush, and here are the 12 colors plus the 3 free colors, and their codes. So you can see these codes in their chart found in their website. So now let's get into the palette. So the face of the palette bears the logo of Van Gogh. So here is the tag. So there's no ring under the palette. So here's the travel brush number 6. So this is a synthetic brush, and as you can see, it's already almost damaged because I've been using it for 2 years now, but we're not gonna be using it today. So this is the mixing tray, the mixing slots. As you can see, it's already gotten stains, and here are the 15 colors. So now let's try popping out one of our half pans. So it's as simple as that. And here is actually the plastic wrapper, because when the pans were new, it was wrapped in individual plastics sheets that has the color information and code. And as you can see, under the pan is the logo of Royal Talens and I believe the address, and it is actually very much the same to the individually sold half pans. The difference is that in the individually sold half pans, they provided the code, because I don't know, they provided the code. I hope they also provided the code here in the half pans that are included in the set. And now I believe we're ready for our swatches and for our sample painting. By the way, I sketched these earlier and I have no precise reference for this landscape. By the way, this is a very Holland landscape. I have windmills here, and as usual, I do not re-wet my paints, to be fair with the other brands that we have reviewed. And also, as usual, again, I'm using Arches 185 watercolor paper. So in some parts, I'll be speeding it up to at least 25 times to save time, and if I need to explain something, I'll be bringing it back to the actual speed. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to comment it down. So let's start. So let's start with Chinese white. And as expected, this is opaque. Next, we have permanent yellow, lemon. And this is very strong, and I believe it's also semi-opaque. Next, we have Aso yellow. This is the warm yellow here, and it's also very strong. Next, we have permanent red light. Next, we have Madder Lake Deep, and this is transparent. Next, we have Quinacridone Rose. This is one of the free additional colors, and this is very transparent, as well as the Madder Lake. Next, we have Ultramarine Deep. This is really intense. Next, we have Prussian Blue, also an additional color. Next, we have Cerulean Blue Phthalo. So this is the color that I'm talking about. Instead of PB35, the original cerulean color, they used phthalo, which they specify in fairness. Next, we have Viridian. So they used, instead of PG18, they used PG7, which is a phthalo green. Next, we have Sap Green. This is also transparent. Next, we have Yellow Ochre, and this is expected to be opaque. Next, we have Burnt Sienna, which uses PR101. Next we have burnt umber, and now it uses PBR7. And lastly, Payne's Gray, which uses PBK6 and PV19. PV19 is interesting for a Payne's Gray because usually they mix black pigment with a blue pigment, but for Van Gogh they used a purple pigment. So we are now done with our swatches, and here is a close-up look. And I really love the selection of colors. It is very balanced. They have 2 yellows, 3 reds, 3 blues, 2 greens, 3 earths, and 1 black and a white. The colors pick up really easily, and the colors are very strong, although some are a little opaque. The texture feels a little bit thick and creamy, very comparable to Holbein, but I don't know, I just prefer Van Gogh over Holbein. So for our sample painting, I'm gonna be using the palette that they have provided, but I'll be speeding it up, so if you have questions, please just comment it down. So to put warmth in our very blue sky, I'll be adding permanent red light. So now, while waiting for the sky to dry, let's proceed to, of course, my favorite, the body of water. And for that, we're just gonna be using our mixture of the burnt sienna and the ultramarine. And we're gonna be just doing that very lightly. So now I'm just gonna be putting the details to show the shape of our windmills and also some details of our landscape and plants. So let me just zoom it in a bit more. For the dark details, I combined burnt umber and ultramarine deep. So for the windmills, I'm using the white. And of course, this would not be complete without putting yellow and more warmth in our sky. So now we are done with our sample painting, and I'm very happy and satisfied with the Van Gogh paints. It's very easy to use and the colors are really vibrant, and I believe they're also transparent. So to those who are saying that the Van Gogh paints are not transparent, I believe I'm able to prove today that you can achieve transparent paintings using the Van Gogh watercolors. I believe it's more on how you use the paints and how you choose the pigments or the colors to use to achieve a desirable transparent painting. And some artists are also saying that the Van Gogh paints are chalky. So to test, let's see. Let's rub our finger here, and you can see no paint transferred in my finger, so it's not chalky. And some people are also saying that it's muddy. I don't think so, because here as you saw, I mixed multiple colors, but it's not muddy. I believe because you can still see the grain of the paper, so it's still transparent despite the fact that I mixed multiple colors and pigments. For the color selection, I'm also satisfied. I'm also happy because I believe it is balanced overall. So the verdict now, would I recommend these to beginners? Yes, because for a set of 15 half pans with a travel brush and a decent palette, this is really not a bad choice for the price. And if I'm gonna compare it to another student grade watercolor of the same price, it would have to be with the Winsor Newton Cotman, because they are in the same price range. As for me personally, I still prefer Van Gogh because the weakness of Cotman is some of their colors in the pans are not that easy to re-wet, and I really personally hate that. I prefer paints that are easy to re-wet, and I just find that very easy to use. And if you have an artist grade choice of the same price as this, that's gonna be the Daniel Smith Essential Set, which I reviewed last month. They are of the same price, but in this set you get only 6 colors but in 5 ml tubes. So this is another option. But if you have a tighter budget, you can consider getting the Sonnet watercolors. This is half the price of the Van Gogh set with 16 colors. The colors and the intensity are actually very comparable. So there you go. I hope you got something from this review today, and I hope I was able to help you in your decision making. If you are not subscribed yet, please do subscribe. And again, thank you for watching, and see you again next week. By the way, if you have questions, please just comment it down. If you have suggestions, I'm open. So just put it in the comment box and I'll be responding as soon as I can. So again, thank you and see you next week.